Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. I can't believe we're actually nearly in the middle of January. It didn't seem 5 minutes ago since we were leading up to Christmas. Unbelievable, isn't it? How time flies. Timothy, something just popped up in front of your comment. What's up, Lance? How you doing? I used to be on Mac's Facebook group. Remember you had a stream? Thought I'd check you out. Good trades to you today. In a tiny town in Texas called Houston. That's not so tiny, is it? Might be in US terms, but for us, that's big. Timothy Tuttle, I remember your name. I recognise your name for sure. Hope you're doing well. Speedy, how you doing, buddy? So, Timothy Tuttle. Yeah, I remember your name. I'm pretty good at remembering names. Sometimes you can get somebody pop in just literally for 5 minutes. Okay, market is open. I can't trade for the first just a couple of minutes. I was looking for a second entry short. We got a channel down there. We got a break, a retest of the highs. You may call that triple test, low high. But for me, I think we're likely to break these lows. Daryl, how you doing, buddy? I had a good weekend, yeah. It's finally getting a little bit milder here in the UK. It's been flipping freezing. We've had a couple of 0 days, 0 degrees centigrade, but it's warming up a little bit. It's mildering up a little bit now. So let's see how we get on today. I want to have a little chat in a bit as well. I have put some orders in for some payments for $6,000. Now they're saying under review. I'm assuming that's pretty normal. We'll have to keep an eye on that anyway. So possible second entry shorty. I still can't trade for another minute. Is this coming down? We have actually had a new low here. So big bearish bar there. Look, surely that's coming down. Surely that's going to break these lows here. I can't trade yet. I mean, that is big, 22 ticks. Surely that's got to come down there. You'd have thought so, wouldn't you? One leg down, second leg down. I've got 30 seconds before I can trade. I prefer a lower high. You think this is going to break these lows, wouldn't you? So this, to me, looks like a little break. Let's have a look. I've got 15 seconds. Come on. Jan, how you doing, buddy? Okay, we're up and running. So I'm just going to get an order ready just in case. Let's see if that would have held. Would you call that a triple test? Oh, right, I'm going to sit tight here a minute because I don't like the way that's going. That has triggered. Let's see if it holds. I'm a bit on the fence here. We've got no news. Let me just bring this a bit closer. Yeah, I'm just going to have to sit and wait here at the minute. Just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All my 8 accounts are. That's going to break out. So I'm glad I left that then. To be honest with you, it's one, it was 22 ticks. 1 and 2, it was right at the bottom there. So although I think this is coming down, it's going a little bit sideways. 1, 2, 3. Would you call that a triple test? I suppose you would. That's 13 ticks, isn't it? It's getting a little bit dangerous here now. So there's a higher low there to go long. Let's see what happens here. It's very tempting here, but I'm going to sit tight. It is a second entry short. It is a lower high. That's if it works. I just don't like what's going on here. We've got a leg. We may get another leg up here. Now let's see what happens. Now it's broke that. Let's see what happens. So leg and a leg. And that would be a breakout of there. So let's see if it fails. Trouble is, we have had a new low here. We've had 2 pushes to a new low, so it may do something else. Leg and a leg. Let's have a look. Jay, how you doing, buddy? Let me just close this down a sec. I'm a bit on the fence here a minute.
Order cancelled.
I tried to place an all latex but got a message. Trading is temporarily halted. Okay, are you using Tradeovate, are you, bud? Because I've just found out there is a few issues with Tradeovate. So that might be the case. Sebo, I also had the same message. Okay, mine's working. Apex. Okay, yeah, okay, right. Sorry, I didn't read down. So yeah, Tradeovate. There's some issues with Tradeovate. So channeled out. One attempt to go higher. We're going to get a second attempt. So we'll see what happens. Rhythmic. I'm rhythmic and no issues. Yeah, it just does seem just with Tradeovate, I think. So yeah, I put an order in, was it yesterday, early hours of yesterday morning, for a payment of $6,000. It says under review. Now, I can't remember. Is that a bad thing? I don't think it is. It should be okay. I don't think I've had any issues with my accounts. I've pretty much traded them sensibly. It's related to trade. Yeah. There is a lower high there. I'm not in a rush to take a short here just at the moment because that looks like it's trying to move up. So I'm just going to do this. It may just be another attempt to push higher. So we've had a break. We haven't had a new lower this yet. So sometimes it does this. It messes around a bit, doesn't it? It kind of takes the scenic route is the best way I've had it described. So it looks to me like there may be a little bit of a rangy area here. Nothing I can do just at the moment. There is a failure there, but there's some support here, and we haven't made a new low from this, so I'm just sitting tight at the moment. I didn't want to take that one, although it was a second entry short because of this. Looked like so that fell breakout for a couple of points. Good on you. Well, that's working, isn't it? See if we get a failure. Second entry long here, trigger and down. I don't think it's going to come back, is it? There'll be stops there and stops there. There's bound to be some stops just below there. Still needing it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We need a little pullback here, although I don't think we're going to get it, are we? Once this thing's heading down with there, surely traders are thinking now this is going down. Yeah, I don't think that's going to stop, is it? Unfortunately. We can live in hope. So let's put that there like that. And let's put that there like that. And that would take us down for a new low comfortably. Yeah, I considered that, but the trouble is there is a little micro channel going up here, and you never know. You know, I'm still waiting for a new low, as you say, but sometimes we'll have this push down. Sometimes we'll have a leg and a leg, stall it here again, and then slowly work its way down. So, also had two legs after a break of that big channel. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? It looks to me. So there may be something larger there. It's a bit too early, to be fair. I don't like jumping to conclusions, but could certainly be something like that. Leg and a leg. I think there's a good chance we break these lows anyway. So however you want to look at this, it is fitting actually kind of nice along there. Touch, and another little nudge there. You like that? Yeah. Did anybody see that video of John Skelton by any chance today? It's a little unnerving. I'm not mega worried, especially after I realise how much they're making, but it didn't look very good, did it? Now, I know companies, you know, you're naive if you don't think companies look for ways of saving money, but it didn't come over, it didn't come over very well, but it depends how you look at it, really. So let's see. Try guy one's possible failure. But the trouble is we're actually hitting a bit of support here. So the fact that we've come off the tops and we haven't managed to get down the bottom is making me sit tight here. Okay, so it hasn't broken above, but I wouldn't take that, to be honest with you. Now, we may get another leg down. I would prefer a lower high from here because there is support along there. Whether there's going to be a lot of buyers around this area, which is why they're protecting it, I don't know. But see if we get a lower high. It has triggered that bearish bar. It's going to be stops there. Let me just get an order ready just in case.
Order submitted.
It's too far from that EMA, that is for me, and it's right into these. There's some support here. It may work, but I'm sitting tight here. Because as well as this channel, which is possible, there's a bit of a range as well. I think so. I'm just going to pay attention to that. So I don't really want to be going short into that. It may work. It probably will. We know we're likely going to get a new low, but it may come a little bit further up here first before it drops. It is finding a bit of support there, so I'm just going to sit tight here a minute. Yeah. There's definitely some support there. Okay, there is kind of a failure there, but I don't really want to go short there. Not just yet. So, there and there may be some shorts above here, some stops. So my gut feeling is this is going to push up, clean them out first. It's too dangerous to trade here, really. It may work, it may not. My gut feeling is as it comes up, clears them out first, and then maybe drops. So both of those gone. Let's see what it does here. Yeah, that's why I stayed out of that. It's too dangerous trading that short. Okay, so that's broke above there. So if there was any shorts there, you may not even got much there. Let's see what happens here. Trouble is, we've only got back to the midline, so it may have a break here. 1, 2, 3. This may be a triple test. We'll see. I still got an order up here. Yeah, I have. So possibly a triple test. 1, 2, 3. Or maybe this thing's rocketing up.
Order cancelled.
So I'm just going to get rid of that. Bounce, bounce, bounce. So it has made of a bunch of attempts to go lower here. So it may fail. We'll see. As I say, channel down, one attempt to push higher, second attempt to push higher. So, break, new high by a tick there, tick or two. So channel break, a new high by a tick. See, there's nothing I want to do around here, to be honest with you. I'd like it to push up and hit this area and then maybe catch it on the way down. You could say 1, 2, one attempt, second attempt. So this may be kind of 2 attempts to push higher. There's kind of 1. And I don't know, wherever you look for, there's kind of a couple. So 1 attempt, a couple of legs down, a little bit of sideways, and maybe a second. If we can get up here again, then I may try and catch it on the way down. Let's have a look on the 10,000 tick chart. Yeah, this will be a bit clearer. So I'm looking for a leg and a leg. Something like that. Attempt and a second attempt, which means we're going to get up here to this level here, which would be up there. Leg and a leg. So a leg up, 2 legs back. I'd like to see it clear that out and get up here somewhere, but we'll see. So there is kind of a lower high here. We have had a break and a small high, but I'm not sure what it's doing here. We could get another leg up. It could trigger it and push up to these highs and have a leg and a leg. So I'm just sitting tight here at the minute. There may be something like that. It's a little bit too shallow for me. I prefer them just a little bit deeper. But you can stretch that up. Yeah, it's a little bit too shallow for me, that. So channel break, small new high, but you may not consider that, but that one is. I'd still like this thing to go a bit higher. Still waiting on a new low for here. It has made an attempt of it, but sometimes it just goes that long way around. It is a fair old size move. Usually the bigger the move down, the more it goes around. So that's best part of 60 points. So I'd expect a little bit more than just that in a new low. It may not come down. We have made multiple attempts, but at the moment it's not in a rush to push up. So my guess is I'm still looking at it breaking these lows, or at least making another attempt to. So there is a lower high there, but it's just super stacked. It could continue up to here, or it could break down here. I've got no idea. Not making new lows, sticking above the EMA. Yeah, sometimes it takes a couple of attempts to push high before it eventually moves down. So I'm not looking for longs at the moment. I'm not looking for shorts until it gets closer to here. If it starts to work down and can get below that EMA, I may look for a failure. It's hard to say. It just doesn't seem like it's in a rush to push up at the moment. So whether, sellers are protecting this area, or whether there's not enough buyers convinced this thing that it's time to buy yet. So I don't know. I don't know. But it is just stacking up, so it can go either way, really. So just a quick, while this is happening, I had just wanted to mention, I've been thinking over the weekend, and do you remember me moving my stop on those 5 PA accounts, my lower PA accounts? I moved my stop, and I ended up being down $900 on the day. Now I have my Guardian Angel trader not to allow me to trade anymore after one loss. Now, ordinarily, I can categorically tell you that since I've been trading, I have never been down $900 per account and not revenge traded and tried to get it back. And I'd say probably 3 times out of 10, I'd have got it back. The other 7 times, I'd have blown the accounts. But because I've got this Guardian Angel set, it hasn't allowed me to. Now, Friday, on those accounts that I was down 900, I was up $500. The day before, I was up $300. So I lost 900, and by being sensible and playing the game, I've managed to get $800 of it back. So when you think about it like that, it just goes to show sometimes even a bad day is recoverable. So, hey, Karina, how you doing? How are you? So it just goes to show, doesn't it? Sometimes, the answer isn't just a panic. If you can just hold it together, or at least get a bit of software to help you to hold it together. Okay, this is kind of what I'm hoping. Leg and a leg. So leg and a leg. Let's see what we get from here now. does show. Absolutely. It just goes to show. We know how to play the game, but we tend to find it hard to follow it. But it just goes to show, if you do follow it, things do come right. So I've kind of given myself a little bit of kick up the arse by doing this, and I've reminded myself, or put it a little bit deeper inside that thick skull of mine, that if you just stick to the rules and play the game, things do work out. So Guardian Angel Trader is an absolutely fantastic bit of software. I know it's not cheap. It's about $399, but that's the price of about 4 accounts, isn't it? So it is worth it. I'm a top step trader now, and the lockdown sufferer yeah, I do believe they've got something which locks you out. The trouble is, as a newer trader, now I've been trading 4 years, and I consider myself now as an intermediate trader. I'm not a beginner anymore. I've got enough skills to make money, but it takes time, and I still have those urges and those impulses sometimes. And when you have that little bit of extra protection, it does help you. And it's a shame, really, more prop firms don't have it, because the trouble is, if prop firms do have something like that to help you, you feel that they're at least out to try and help you succeed, as opposed to saying, do what you want, lose all your money, we'll make it all, and then, what will be, will be. That's the end of the day, Now, I'm not naive enough to know prop firms are out to make money. Of course they are. That's why they're in business. Everyone's out to make money to a degree, aren't they? But, as well as making money, you've got to provide a service which is attractive to your customers. And once you lose that, that's when things start to go wrong. So you have to provide a good quality service. And you at least when you buy something, if I know you buy a jacket or a pair of shoes, you get a guarantee with it, don't you? You get good quality, you get a good name, and you get friendly staff when you go and buy the thing. So you've got to provide a good service, and the things with TopStep, they give you some software to help you to stop blown accounts. So at least you feel like a little bit of value, don't you? I have it set 1 trade a day. Yeah, same here, bud. If I lose a trade now, it won't let me trade. I can't even delete the software. Now, if I win a trade, that's fine. I can carry on. But you guys know, if I win a trade, 98 times out of 100, I won't take another channel up. It fits, does it? I'm still thinking that this may come down 2 attempts to push higher. So let's just put that there. Yeah, it doesn't look terrible. So I'm still thinking this may push down here. It may not, but we've got a leg down, a couple of legs up, we'll see. There is a lower high there, but at the moment, even though we're supposed to have 3 touches, it kind of does look like things are moving at the moment. My biggest issue is actually placing a trade. I always find a reason not to enter. I've got past moving a stop stage. Now once my stop, I won't move it. That's good. I tell you what, I think I've been through that stage, and the way I see it, I'd rather be overcautious than careless. If you're just jumping in willy-nilly, it's a recipe for disaster. But if you're holding back, it's better to be that little bit overcautious than just be, careless. I've had those stages where I've got close to a payout and I'm kind of almost scared to take a trade. But what you might find is you wait for better quality trades, because we all know trades that kind of jump out at us and kind of wave. I like that one on Friday. Where was it? That one there. I thought that was an absolute beauty. We had clearly a spike and a channel down, 2 beautiful legs up. Not only that, there was a first entry failure. There was a failure going along. You can guarantee there's going to be traders in here and here. Triggered above, nice, but I thought that was lovely. 2 beautiful legs up. It just worked beautifully, that. Trades like that just don't fail. And if you can wait for trades like that, you're going to take less trades, but you're going to win so many more. You really are. My Funny Futures removed date. Yes, they have. It's not My Funny Futures. Take Profit Trader, Jay. I heard that as well. I think it was, it's Take Profit Trader. If you had a $1,200 loss in a day, you blew the account, which was a bit odd, even though, you've got a 2,500. Yeah, it's Take Profit Trader. So I'm waiting for $6,000 in payments for Apex. So I'm going to pick myself up one of those accounts. I'm going to start diversifying a bit. I'm still okay with Apex. I know they've got some issues. And I know Mr. Skelton's been caught out saying some things he probably shouldn't have done. But I don't know. It's hard to say, really, isn't it? There is a second entry long here, but I'm sitting tight. Companies are out to make money. I'm just thinking who's got the video. Kellyanne had it on her website, but she took it down. It was, I don't know who's got it at the moment, but he was just basically saying about the 85,000. Got to make sure we keep the rules tight. I can't think now. I'll see if I can find it. I'm not sure who's got it. I wouldn't take a long ear just at the moment because we've had two legs up. This thing could come down and try and retest these. So, and that may be a bit of an overshoot. So I'm avoiding longs just at the moment. So I'm still thinking 2 attempts to push up higher, push below that EMA. Let's see what goes on here. That isn't a confirmed channel. We've only really touched it twice. It's 2 legs up. So I'm going to get rid of that at the moment. Leg and a leg. My gut feeling is this is going to attempt to make a new short, make a new low. Yeah, but I mean, Apex are making something like $15 million a month. There's no fear of them going out of business. That's for sure. I know there's something with a court case or something with an ex-employee, but lots of companies, have these sort of civil suits with other staff and people. Someone's took a short here on Thomas's. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not the only one thinking this thing's coming down. That's what he's looking at as well. That looks like a 10,000 tick chart, leg and a leg. So I'm thinking short at the moment. He's got that as a channel. I'm a bit on the fence there, to be honest with you. I was downstairs earlier with my daughter watching Back to the Future. I haven't seen that for a few years. My daughter said, did everyone have hairdos like that in the 80s? I went, what do you mean a hairdo? His hair's just normal. She didn't think so. So there's the failure. There's a little flat area there. Almost like it's pushing into the... See what I mean? I'm still not taking a short here anyway. There may be a little break there. My gut feeling is this is going to make a new low, or at least attempt to make a new low, but I might be wrong. So I'd like a second entry short here. Let me just put this back here a minute. Possible hidden second entry short. It's hard to know. It's the crunch time here, isn't it? If you've got that as a channel, maybe it's going to push up. But I got mixed feelings here. Okay, so there's a higher low there. I'm not thinking about longs at the moment. My gut is telling me this thing's going to come down. We've had 2 legs up. There's no setup anyway, even if you wanted to go long, really. Tech supporter, yeah. Yeah, there is some areas up here, isn't there? Okay, so we're in this area here. 1, 2, 3. There's quite likely going to be some stops there. Well, it depends, obviously, if you depends where you're going to come out there, or whether you think this thing is going to fall throughout the day or not. But so if you like that channel, we've had a break and a new high, so I'm a bit on the fence about that. It doesn't really. Well, I don't know. Maybe it does. So we touched it. So we come off there and we've touched it a couple of times here. And that's it, really. So it kind of fits and it has worked, but I wouldn't have traded that here as a channel. I don't know, this thing can go higher, I don't know. So I'm a bit on the fence here. It's a major area on Friday. Yeah. Is this thing still coming down, is it? Yeah, Thomas Wade still got it as a channel with a break and new high. So maybe it is valid, I don't know. It doesn't, it looks okay. It's certainly bouncing at the right areas at the top. So we've had a break. You could say we've had 1, 2 pushes to a new high. I'd still like to see this come down and retest this area, but who knows whether it's going to now. I mean, it's bounced at the right area. It hasn't broken above there, I don't think. No, it hasn't. That's a tick higher on the left, so that is still intact, and this as well. Second entry short, lower high, whatever you think, triple test, it's still holding. And this thing now looks like it's on its way down, so we're through the EMA. So I'd like to say now we've had a break and a new high. Maybe this is just ranging. hell? Yeah, it's a bit Merkel. You're not wrong, mate. So we've bounced off this area, so whether we're going to retest this or whether this thing's ranging, but yeah, it's a bit hard to figure out exactly what's going on. Sometimes you get those days. Sometimes these things are really clear. It started off nice and clear. We had two nice legs down. And here it's just a little bit, what are we doing? Second entry short here. Might test the underside of this line. Just going to get an order ready up here.
Order
just in
submitted.
case we get a second entry short off here. I don't know whether we will. This thing may just fall. What's that ATR? It's not too bad today.
Order cancelled.
Okay, so channel break, new low. Trying Trouble is, I'm looking around here where there may be stops. I'd say there's likely going to be some selling around here. Big strong move up there. But is it going to come down? Okay, so I mean, this is, you'd like to think after this sort of a couple of legs, there's going to be some, well, there was some strong buying there trying to catch this thing on, maybe on the way up to the top. So it'd be interesting to see if it does come down here. If it does, you'd like to think there's going to be a strong push through that if there is stops around there. I can't see why there wouldn't, kind of two legs. But it's a bit unclear. One, two, three. Would you call that a triple test? Bit risky, I think, in my opinion. It may work. 1, 2, 3. It hasn't triggered anyway, I don't think. So maybe something wider. There is a bit of support there, so let's see if we get a bounce here. May catch it as a lower high if it does turn. Or I would prefer something like this. And down there. Leg and a leg. Timothy Tuttle, yeah, I do remember your name. So there is a little bit of support and resistance along here, so let's see what happens from here. In fact, you probably could even consider that a hidden second entry short, but it's just a bit unclear what's going on at the moment, so there's nothing here for me really, just as yet. Not only that, we're still in this little micro trend, so going short isn't the best option, I think. So a little channel, maybe a break, new high. Yeah, it's strange when you get these one to the left, one at the top, one to the right. It's just, it reminds me of kind of a bomb blast, doesn't it? Bit goes that way, bit goes up and a bit goes here, and it's just a little bit unclear. I'm not really sure what I'm expecting here. I'd like to push down and at least attempt to make a new low, because it's not really had enough buying, really, I don't think. We did have some buying, then we came back and we did have some more, but then we dropped right below all of it. So my gut feeling at the moment is we're still going to have a new low, but at some point you've got to start thinking, but it is 2 legs up, but it's just not clear at the moment. This is just sitting on your hands time, I think, really. In fact, how long have we been going? I might go make a cup of tea in a minute, we'll see. No news today. There isn't any news today. I'll tell you something, after Friday, I'm definitely going to start marking medium impact news. Didn't we have a 2022, 25, was it? Something like a 25 point bar, bearish bar with some medium impact news. I've never really paid much attention. 2 new lows, sort of crash open, looking for a long channel break, new high, bearish bar. I'm a bit on the fence here at the moment. We've had a channel up here with a breaking new high, channel down. I don't know, this thing can go up and down. It's just a bit unclear for me at the moment. Channel break, new high, bearish bar. I don't know. This is just unclear for me. So big bullish bar there, bearish bar triggered, broke below there straight away. So I think there was a good chance this comes back to the EMA, but it's just too unclear really. So I'm sitting tight. Channel break, new high. So that little channel is played out. I wonder. Possibly channel down, 2 attempts to push higher. Yeah, my gut is still telling me this thing is more likely to go down. I could be completely wrong, but oh. So channel break, new high, strong push to the EMA. It's still unclear. Although my gut is telling me we're coming down, it's still a bit unclear. I'm not confident enough to trade it. Unless we had a really nice second entry short here or something. I want something that's going to encourage sellers. Probably going to test the overnight lows. Yeah, trouble is this, after this and a couple of attempts, there's definitely some strong buying there, so I'm guessing there's going to be a ton of stops below here. Certainly below there, I would have thought. Yeah. So channel break, new low. Let's see where this goes. I may extend that. Yeah, so, okay, so we may have 2 legs. Is that enough to get down here? No. So, big channel down, 2 attempts to push higher. It's certainly trying to clear out this area, isn't it? I mean, there's always possibility that we could have a leg and a leg. It's certainly, it wouldn't be unheard of, would it? What have we got down here? Not a lot. How was that? Oh, that was Thursday, wasn't it? Yeah, of course. So I'd like to get 2 attempts to push higher and catch this on the way down. If we can connect with this area. So a nice channel down there with a break. Let's see what happens here. We haven't made the measured leg. If we can get a second entry short around here, I would have a go at that. So frustrating. Sometimes it just has a break, comes straight down. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I'd only take a trade up here. Channel break. Let's have 2 pushes to a new low around about here, and let's get a decent pull back to here for that final push below here, and eventually the lows. So we've bounced a couple of times off here, bounced the 3rd time, and 2 legs down, not quite 2 full legs. So I'd like to make those full legs, or as close to them, then have a decent pullback, and then maybe catch it, or catch it on a lower high or a failure. So, I mean, this could be the start of a second leg down. We've got 1 leg, 1 attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. I mean, it's starting to look like this could be a second leg down. Leg, 2 legs back and a leg. Let me just have a look on the 10,000 tick chart, see if this gives us... Yeah, this is looking a bit clearer. So we've got this channel down there, 2 attempts to push higher and down for what may be a second leg. Well, I mean, my concern, my thought process will be just testing this area, probably clearing that big strong buy. You'd like to think there's going to be some stops below there, isn't there? Surely. We push up, 2 legs back, massive bullish bar. I mean, on this, it was about 5, 10, 15, 10, 12, 15 points, something like that. So there's going to be stops below there. I'm just not confident enough to get that in one push. So you want to keep selling there, do you? When we're that far from the EMA, you'd like this to come back, wouldn't you? I would have liked it to get to that measured leg or as close as. So we've had a break with 2 pushes down to a new low. I'd like to see it just clear out any stops from that little bullish bar there, and hopefully that would hit this level. Whether it'll have the strength to get further down, who knows. I want to see a decent pullback. 2 legs up. Nice bearish bar here. Would be nice. I don't think. Bounce, bounce, bounce. I don't think this is anything to worry about. Interested to see what happens. I didn't quite expect that. Trouble is, sometimes it'll get to this area and just turn really quickly. It doesn't give you any options. Okay, so that's closed there. Let's see what happens now. Mac has this as a big uptrend starting from the lows. Does he really? So I just put that there a minute ago. It seemed a bit shallow for me, so he's got this like that, has he? Yeah, strange, isn't it? I got to say, Mac does have some. That's interesting. He does have some odd channels, really. So he's got that as something like that, has he? That just looks a bit odd to me. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, you know, I'm not saying he's wrong, of course. He's the man, isn't he? But see how we bounced off this line. Bearish bar there. So we've had a break in a new high. I never take that one just in case. That to me is like picking a high, really. I'd like to trap along, really. Trouble is, we're still above that EMA at the moment. But that kind of has confirmed that trend channel. But it's still a little bit unclear here. It's so tempting there. Cost if you've what to do. No, I'm gonna have to stay out of this at the minute. If you've recently failed an evaluation, you can have a retest for $35. Apart from that, they're $50 at the moment. Yeah, I'm glad I stayed out of that. It's just a bit unclear. They're 50% off at the moment. But if you've recently failed an evaluation, you can reset it for $35. And I believe PA fees are still $85 at the moment. PA fees, I believe, are still $85 at the moment. There is a failure there. Let's see what happens here. There's a failed second entry short, which is triggered. Anytime, mate. Anytime. It's very tempting here, but it's a little bit stacked up here. I would rather the failure. Yes, Thomas Wade said I'd considering the higher low. Mind you, you can bet there's going to be some stops there, but look at that though. Surely you've got to pay attention to that. I think that's vulnerable personally. I wouldn't take a trade here at the moment because price is above the EMA, but a push up, 2 attempts to go. It could push up. There's going to be liquidity there and here. And past 2 of the 3 free accounts. Let's go short. Yeah. Oh, you got the 3 free accounts for the what do they call it? That wealth thing, isn't it? I did. But I never carried on. The trouble is, it's a new platform, isn't it? And I'm thinking it's taken me 3.5 years to learn this one. So I don't know. My gut feeling is this is coming down for another leg. I hate the software. Yeah, you're trading them on here, are you? Maybe I'll have a look into it. Yeah, it's a bit stacked here. It could go up or down. There's going to be shorts there and there. You can bet your bottom dollar. And there's going to be stops below there as well. If this thing gets below here, my gut feeling is it's going to come down. Now, there's a failure there. Tempting to put a sell order below there, but this also looks like a bit of a bull flag. Yeah, so that cleared out anything. I did the new platform, but one day and I didn't get nothing. 3 vars for that. I might have to have a look into it. So 2 legs back. Is this a break? Are we going down? I don't know. It's just a bit unclear at the moment. Thing is, if you look at this, it's kind of a fell breakout, isn't it? So I don't know. It's just a bit unclear for me. 1 minute I'm thinking down, next minute I'm not so sure. Yeah, I didn't really want to. Oh shoot! I don't know. Trouble is, trading's sort of time consuming enough as it is without kind of spending your time not earning on another chart. You know what I mean, or another platform. I signed up for it, but I haven't had the time to commit, really. Ultimately, I got to think about me PA accounts and this and growing them. So the thing is, we've got a touch there, and a couple of touches there. So I'm not saying there is a channel, but I'm saying I had to pay attention to it, and it is holding. See, there is a second entry. The trouble is, I don't like the fact that it hasn't broken below there. And when there's kind of shorts and longs trapped here, especially after we've had a break in a new high already, I'm just a bit. I'd rather just sit tight and wait. So there's probably going to be some stops there. So maybe that isn't. And not only that, if we are in a bigger range, you'd still expect it at least to get down here. But then you're going to have, there's going to be a lot of protection below there, you'd like to think, wouldn't you? So perhaps we've had a couple of attempts to go lower, and now this thing is moving up. Who knows? Who knows? Let's put that there for now anyway. Okay. I'm getting a bit dry. So how long have we been going for? Hour and 10 minutes. Okay, I'm going to give this chance to hit this and see what it's going to do. So I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break, make a cup of tea. And over there. And I'll be back about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. Let's cover that up. Okay. Right. It's not the easiest of days today, I've got to say. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've had a break, 2 attempts to push higher, a leg and a leg. Let's see what happens now. It's cleared out this area. Gap is at 58.61. So it's up here. Okay, so you'd like to think it was going to fill that. Trouble is, when we get above areas like this, I always get a bit nervous about taking a long because we've had a leg and a leg right to the tick. You don't know whether this thing's going to come back into this kind of range area, do you? But like, and not only that, if Mac has got a bigger uptrend, we're right at the top of it. So second entry long. Trouble is, you may get a break here. So from the bottom, not you. So right to the tick. I like to be precise. Literally right to the tick. It's cleared out that, so I'm guessing we're going to get a break here. Not only that, if you look at this channel, as we know, right at the top of it, back to the side, right at the top, back to the side. Now we're not quite getting up there, and we have made that measured leg, so we may get a break. If this is going to continue higher, I'd like to see a couple of legs back and a slightly wider channel. So I'm looking for a break here. I think we'll get a break here and maybe retest the top of this. I'd like to see that trigger above there. A second entry long here I would have a go at. It depends how it looks because obviously I'm aware of that measured move right to the tick. Yeah, trouble is, once you start using some of these new platforms, and I know some people have moved over from NinjaTrader to Quantile. I've got Quantile myself, and I've had a play around with it. It's still half flipping complicated. The trouble is, when you need to understand how you need to understand how your platform works. And I've been using NinjaTrader every day now for the last 3.5 years, so I know how it works. I know it inside out, and I'm comfortable with it. And sometimes moving over to, asking the traders to move over to a new platform, it would be my first choice. 61, so we got to get up here. Is it at 61? I thought it was lower than that. There it is, isn't it? Is that it? Where's the gap? That's it, isn't it? Oh yeah, it is. So yeah, 61.50. Yeah. Yeah. Let's have a look here. Right, if I'm going to go longer, I'd like to see a triple test. Let's put that on there. Yeah, see Thomas Wade's 2 legs as well, and it is right to the tick. He's just posted that. So You've got to be careful. If this thing is going to go much higher, I'd rather see a leg and a leg, and then have some sort of a wider channel. Somewhere along the lines of that, which actually would kind of fit really well. So I'd be looking at something like that, a leg back and a leg back, and maybe something there. But I'm not in a rush to go long here or short. Well, short I'm not looking at. I'm looking at longs. Well, that's my thought process at the moment. This could come back, but if we can get a decent couple of legs back, then that may interest me to go long. Let's just put that about there, because there's a little bit of congestion there. So if we can read it, and it may interest me. That extra wide multi-day channel starting to come into play. Now the kids are, you on about? Oh, you want about? Oh, okay, yeah. You're about that Max got. Yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier. If it is Max, we're right at the top of it now, so you would kind of expect it to come down, wouldn't you? But I don't know. I'm not a massive fan of channels like. I don't know. That just doesn't look right to me. Are you on about a channel down? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, because someone say Mac had that kind of channel. Are you on about something larger there, are you? Tell you what, let's have a look. Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's odd, isn't it? He does have some odd channels sometimes. I've not seen anybody else marking anything like that on Thomas Wade's forum. Nothing at all. So I'm not saying Mac's wrong. Obviously, he knows what he's doing. But I don't know, the more I don't know. So I'd like to see possible 2 legs down, but then again, we've made the measured leg, so I don't know. I'm looking at maybe something slightly wider up. I mean, I've just threw that in there just out of curiosity, but just out of interest to see if it does. Yeah, it could be. It's hard to say, really. What I will say is, if you look at these, they are slowly, gradually going up, and at the same at the top. So I get where Matt's coming from. It's just hard to read at the moment. It's hard to read to trade because it is sideways with a slight upward bias. But if it's a range, it's predominantly getting higher and higher at the bottom of it, which tends to tell you it's more of a channel. See, maybe it is something like that. Maybe it will develop. It's so hard to tell at the moment, isn't it? Also biased is down on the target. Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? See, I'm thinking if this is going to go up, it's going to get a wider channel for me. Let's just remove it for now, and we can always, if it does decide to start pushing back up. See, at the moment, this channel has had a break, but not a new high, although we've had an attempt at a new high. So there is a failure there, isn't there? New high, let's zoom in a bit. So there's a new high there, tried to go once, so no, it's not a failure. Yeah, you got to be so careful. I mean, this may push up and make a new high, or like you say, it may be a failure, and I'll break out the range and it might come in. But every time we've had 2 legs back and we've gone up again. But it is a leg up, 2 legs back and a leg up, right to the nearest tick. So when it does that, I think the safest bet is to temporarily hold going for longs and just give it a bit of time to figure out what it wants to do. So possible second entry short. Do I really want to go short? Yeah, I'm just going to have to sit tight here until I figure out what's going on. Okay, I think that's pretty interesting. You know, there is a failure on my second chart, but it's a big ass bar, and I would much prefer the bottom of it a little bit higher. So we've got a leg down, a little bit of sideways. Maybe we get a lower high here. I don't know. I don't even know whether I want to go short at the moment. I'm pretty strict at the moment. My discipline's pretty good at the moment, so I'm trying to really hold on to it. What I find sometimes the best trades to take are the ones you don't have to even try and work out. They're the ones that just jump out at you. You know, really obvious ones, like that one Friday. I mean, it was just so obvious, that one. You know, we had a spike down, we had a nice channel down here, two clear legs. It's such a straightforward, obvious trade, that one. You can clearly see there's a failed second entry short. They're big, strong buyers. Triggers it comes to. For me, it's about as clear as it goes. It's exactly in the right place. It's not too big of a risk. So I kind of like to, you know, think about the ones that are really obvious. As the ones that you're thinking, it kind of looks like it's, you know, I mean, here, it's kind of a bull flag, so it's just one of those things. So, looking on my other chart, my second 2000 tick chart here, we got a push down and sideways. You could say 1, 2, 3. If you get a triple test here, another push up, then it may continue down. So depends how you look at this. Yeah, it's a bit hard, isn't it? So leg and a leg, trap in some balls and then down. Maybe a breakout pullback. I don't think it's going to come back. Max midline say reacts here. So I get what he's saying now. Now it's come up there, and it is progressively getting higher, and same at the bottom. So I just find my experience of this is the more shallow the channel. I mean, it's fitting. The more shallow the channel, the less reliable they are. But I mean, it depends. If you stretch it out a bit, it just seems a little bit. I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe this is a bit of a bear flag. It could be. It just doesn't strike me as a strong channel. Let's just kill a colour on it. That's two major swings. Crazy. Yeah. Yeah, it has. Which means, you know, you'd expect it to come down, but the trouble is you're going short then in an uptrend, although I wouldn't consider this a strong uptrend. I mean, you could certainly short this, of course you could. There's plenty of I say there's not opportunity, but there's plenty of places where setups could have occurred. Channel break, new high, we're up there. Channel break, new high. Bearish bar came straight down strong. So I'm just going to pay attention to it. So there's a failure on my other chart, but it's a breakout pullback, bearish bar there, and that works. I wasn't paying attention to that. So yeah, 2 legs down, bullish bar triggered, big bearish bar, and then look at that come down there. So that was a breakout pullback, trapping some longs there. And that worked super quick. 17 ticks. I go for 12. So, but look at that. Okay, so it's around this midline. This is the channel that Max got. Yeah, I was looking at possible second entry short there. Higher low, triggered, straight down. So it's trapping longs here. It trapped longs straight away there. We had a second entry long which triggered, trapped it, came straight down again. So there's definitely traders. Did you get your withdrawal approved? Still waiting on it, Tony. It's got under review. I think it does that, to be honest with you. It does that sometimes. I just can't remember. I mean, I've traded it fine. I don't think there's any issues with it. Trouble is, I did have some of the last one denied. So whether they put them under review, if they've been denied previously and then they look at them individually, I don't know. It's when did I put it in for? Early hours of Saturday morning. So it's been 48 hours. But nothing as yet. So spike and a channel. If it's manually only been 2 hours since the start of the day. If it's manual, it's only been 2 hours. Wouldn't have thought so. What's that? Did you withdraw? Wouldn't have thought so. Based 300 a day. Yeah, I don't kind of break any rules. The free accounts I've applied for, there's over $5,000 profit in each of those accounts. So I don't think there's any issues. You got it from the top. Yeah, maybe it is from the top now. Process is manual, then they wouldn't have started looking at your payments until this morning. Yeah, maybe. Mind you, I did apply for one once on a Saturday last month at $2,000. Or was it the beginning of the month? No, it was last month. And it was paid on a Sunday, so I don't know. Well, not paid, but approved, so I don't know. I dare say they're busy at the moment for one reason or other. Okay, so leg. Let's see where this goes. So if you're going to take that one, I would suggest there may be an overshoot there. Touch, overshoot. I mean, this is an area, if you are going to buy, trouble is, this to me kind of looks like a giant bear flag. Big long stem or big long upside down pole with a bear flag. Usually these things end down, so you don't know whether it's going to bounce off here, trap a load of traders and then drop down. I don't know, but this to me is just... and it's not what I would consider a strong channel, which tells me it's more of a bear flag. It's struggling to get up, it's going to... and then all of a sudden just going to tip that way. At the moment, yeah, we're going down at the moment. Let me just... yeah, so this is... why did it do that? This is the 10,000 tick chart at the moment, so we're definitely coming down. Let's put that there. So, depends where you look at it, something like that. So, I'm guessing at some point this thing is likely to come down further. I mean, that's just speculation, isn't it? Call it an educated guess. I overshoots. Take second interest comfortably. Yeah, it's the trouble is the whole day really, with the exception of those two legs round, has been a little bit sketchy, isn't it? You kind of, I mean, I looked at that, maybe an area catching something on the way down there, because, you know, we bounced off this area, but it is, I mean, I didn't like it earlier, but I am starting to pay a bit of attention to it. And it's funny how it's kind of worked. It's bounced right at the right area. Usually I don't like channels this broad and this shallow. So it's a tough one, isn't it? So that looks like a bit of an overshoot. So straight away I'd avoid the next second entry if we get one. I mean, you could stretch it out to here. The trouble is, when Mac teaches it, there's no obvious clarification of when is it an overshoot and when it isn't. I've heard Max say that looks like an overshoot, but I'm not convinced it is, or that there's an overshoot, but I'm not convinced it is. So it's just one of those things, isn't it? If you want to know whether there's an overshoot or not, widen your channel, for example. Pull support lower until the midline becomes a support. This is a support. Yeah, I just did that at the minute. Just brought it down to there. You're on about bringing it to the midline, aren't you? I mean, you can always do that. It is bouncing off the midline, but I mean, you could put it there. But I like to just assume it's an overshoot and just avoid this next short. VWAP, yeah. See, I don't use VWAP in my style of trading. We don't really need it as a rule. As a rule, this kind of price action tells you all you need to know, really. If you can read this price action, it's so clear. Channel break, new low. Channel break, new high. Channel break, new low. Channel break, new high. You know, it's pretty readable. And obviously the theory is if we're coming down channel, as soon as we get a break here, we're looking for a second entry short, lower high, triple test. So we rely on these kind of channels to tell us, you know, because obviously, as we know, most channels, when they have a break, they make a new extreme or a new low in the case of a downtrend, which all these have. You may say with the exception of that, but I'm not convinced that is a channel. But that one clear channel, that one clear channel, that one clear channel. So, second entry short. I'm avoiding this at the moment because of this possible overshoot. Sometimes you get an overshoot, you take the next second entry, sometimes it triggers you and pushes up. So I'm sitting tight at the moment. Now, it may work. I'm not bothered about that, though. I've got into trades before when we've had an overshoot and it's triggered me and shot up. So I'm sitting tight. I'm happy to miss this. It never bothers me in the slightest leaving a trade. Even if I miss out a massive move, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. Yeah, I listened to someone the other day saying they hate it when they don't take a trade. Don't bother me in the slightest now. So all of a sudden, that second entry short doesn't look that attractive now, does it? So I always avoid it. If I think we've had an overshoot, I'll assume we have and avoid that next trade. And it doesn't bother me in the slightest if it works. Took one the other day after an overshoot and it stung me. And we had a lower high. I just know. Yeah, absolutely. Just learn from it. Yeah, just learn from it. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. The thing about missing a trade is you're guaranteed not to lose a penny. See, it's just looking a bit sketchy now, isn't it? You know, 1 minute you think, we are coming down now. All we did was trigger that little long there, trigger the failure or the higher low, and come down, stopped it straight out. I mean, it may come down, but that does not bother me in the slightest. Not on the slightest. I'm happy to give it a miss. Yeah, so he's showing that as well as an overshoot. Now, if I took that trade and that stopped me out, I would kick myself because I know damn well there's a good chance it's an overshoot. And if it does continue down, then I'll usually extend it. Yeah, someone else has said, yeah, look, I mean, overshoot my short-term trend, overshoot for me, overshoot, maybe an undershoot, whatever, second entry short, but overshoot. I played it as an overshoot as well. So, I mean, it may be in, he's took it, I was tempted. A couple of people took it. That's fine. I got no issues with that. Marco took it. I'm surprised, but it does kind of fit there. So I don't think it's terrible. But for me, I'm happy to give it a miss. I don't want to lose a trade when I know there's a chance it may trap you. And not only that, how big's the bar? So bounce here, doesn't it? So 3.75, 375 times 8. I ain't risking that. Not a chance. And even if you'd have gone safe and taken the lower high, that may have been an option, but then it's a little bit stacked. And not only that, it's a little bit of this. So 1, 2, 3. So you may call it a triple test, but after this, in my opinion, you just got to sit tight. So if you took the lower high, would be about there. You wouldn't have got 2 points. You'd have got a 1.5 out of that. And now look at this. So the safest bet for me is if you're in doubt, do not worry about it. Just don't take the trade. See, I go for 3 points, so that would have just made it for me if I'd have got in on the close. But look at this now. See, it's definitely looking stacked. The lower high there, yeah, that's just got danger written all over me. It's trappy. There's a higher low there, triggered it, stopped it, come out. I wouldn't have got me points from that, and all of a sudden this thing's coming back. Now, where's it going to go? Is it likely going to take out that? I'd say probably. So if I'd have taken that, I'd have just got my 3 points through the skin of my teeth. A tick less, and I wouldn't have done so. That for me is just not that attractive. Just got a little bit of risk written all over that, so I'm happy to leave it. So channel down. That is more of a correction after this. That would probably interest me more. But yeah, don't ever bother, don't ever worry about. Mind you, if I think back, I didn't used to like taking losses, missing trays, but it don't bother me in the slightest now. That to me straight away rings alarm bells. I've been caught out there more times than I can tell you. So now, if there's ever I think an overshoot, I always avoid it. Now it's going sideways. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, so Max got this apparently. This channel going up. Personally, I think it's more sideways, but that's me. I've not seen anybody else have that channel. He's got it more sideways. Thomas Wade's got rid of that. He looks like he's got a... Marco's got a channel up. Marco probably looked at Max, I'd say. He's got nothing there. So there's nothing I can see. Thomas Wade's not got it, but, you know, Mac knows what he's doing. So perhaps I'm missing out here. But that's fine. So I'm going to bring that down just a touch to about there. So maybe now I would bring that out. The trouble is we've got a break now. So if you had taken that lower high, if you weren't sure about that, taking the lower high, depending on how many points you go for, it would have stopped you out. So you would have got a 1.5 there, depending on where you got in, which isn't enough for me. And then it would have stopped you out by a couple of ticks. That one's still intact, but that one would have gone. And usually, if you're not sure about the first one, the lower high is generally the safer bet. But it's a little bit sideways, a bit unclear. And initially, my thought process was this was an overshoot. And often it is until maybe... I'm going to put it back, actually. And often it is an overshoot until it continues down, and then sometimes then you'll extend it out. But so channel down, one attempt to go lower, sorry, higher, second attempt to go higher. That would be a second entry short. I'm staying out of it because it's sideways and that's short and into the bottom of this. It may work, but it's too risky for me. Okay, excuse me for a second. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be a quick second. Okay. Right. So there is a lower high, but same again, going short into that bottom. It's just risky around here. As I say, Matt's got that channel. I'm not a massive fan of it, but I'm aware of it. Yeah, I'm just leaving this at the moment. It's a little bit choppy. So channel down, 1-2 attempts to push higher. It could go a bit higher, clean out some of this. There's going to be stops there, I don't doubt it, and that's triggered. So my gut feeling is there's liquidity above this area here. So another reason to leave that one. That's going to get stopped out. That one, yeah, you'd have got a 1.5. The lower high, you'd have got a 1.5, no more. Well, you could call this a triple test. Is it going to break above there? It's going sideways, isn't it? So I'm guessing it's probably going to clear up any stops which are above there. There may be some there. There's going to be some there. So I think it's likely that that is going to get, there we go. So a little pop up there. There's definitely some stops there, 100%. So that's cleared out anything there. So now let's see where it wants to go. So we've had a break of this channel. There was an overshoot anyway, and we've had a break, and we've made a new low by a tick or two. So where's it going to go now? It's not the easiest day today, I've got to say. There's lots of just... I don't like this when it's you get one going that way, one going up, and one going in this. It's just kind of going in all directs. I mean, in that section there, the thing's going, it's going up, it's going down that way, up that way, down that way, up. It's just, it's unclear. Can really chop you up. It's a good exercise in patience days like this. I don't mind it when we have days like this. You know, if I walk away and I don't take a trade all day, I give myself a pat on the back. It don't bother me in the slightest. Because it's one of the things I struggle with when I started, was having the patience. I used to sit here sometimes with the patience of a saint for 3 hours, and in the last 2 minutes get a little bit impatient and end up taking a loss. I can't tell you how many times. Well, I've been streaming it now for 2 years. So a lot of you guys who were with me from the start, don't know how many times you saw me wait patiently all day and give me a bit of praise as well, and all of a sudden I ended up landing a loss within the last couple of minutes, just because that patience got the better of me. When you start trading, you're desperate to get in and take trades. You know what I mean? You first learn to drive a car. First thing you want to do is get in the damn thing. You don't care where you're going. You just want to get in and drive. And it's kind of like that with trading. That urge and that impulse to just want to take a trade is so hard to control when you're new. So, yeah, this is just a no-go area. This is... There's a little breakout there which seems to have failed, but has it? Has it? channel has had an overshoot. It also has made a new low. If you don't think it's an overshoot, we've definitely had a break, 2 attempts to push up at a new low, or a break, 2 pushes to a new low. So it's technically played out however way you look at it. There may be a lower high there. I'm sitting tight. I don't want to trade right in the middle of this little range here. It can chop you up. Mac seems to think that there's something larger there, which means it may decide to drop and test this area, or it could continue on up. I don't know. So if I get rid of that, what does it look like? It's still definitely got a slight bullish feel to it, isn't it? These bars are huge. They are a bit, aren't they? ATR's not too bad at the moment. There is a lower high on my other chart, but it's a bit choppy. Depends how you look at this. I mean, you may even have that something like that and that like that. I don't think it's terrible, which means this may come down. But look what's happened. You got that lower high, bullish bar there, triggered, stopped out. You got that lower high, and it's triggered. You're already coming back. Ordinarily, I wouldn't think a trade like this would be that terrible, but it is quite choppy. So it could sting you. We've had a push up out of it. We could get a second entry long. So, you know, this is a trappy area for me. This could be like that. I mean, you know, we may still be coming down for a new low to the point where you're making on taking sure things early. Sometimes when I don't draw trends channels, you just see perfect setups once in a while. Yeah, those days I draw after the fact. Yeah. It's 17 ticks that C. Is it going to work? Quite probably. I think we'll probably come down below here, but you just don't know, do you? It's clearly just choppy there, so this could turn into a second entry long and it may push up. So I think the sensible thing to do would be, we've had a break in a new low. Whether we've had an overshoot or not, I think it's irrelevant now. Channel's played out. But I'm going to bring it to there. Yeah, so hopefully I've got $6,000 on the way. I'm just waiting for them to be approved. So hopefully my plan this year is to get consistent payments every month. I'm not too fussed how much they are. I'd like, you know, I've got 8 accounts at the moment here. Even if I can get $1,000 out of each, I'll be more than happy. And then I can just grow them. But I'm just still waiting on an email. So that's interesting. Strong buying off there. We have made a new low. Another reason not to get into a short there. So, got a 1.75 out of that at a push. But then look at that, it's that line when you can see the support there. You've seen Patrick Wheeler's new setup. I actually looked at his channel before I started here. I like to have a flick through YouTube and see who's doing what. Yeah, he's bought a load of new screens and stuff, hasn't he? He's obviously making money. I mean, he's got a $200,000 car sat there. I mean, ordinarily, they say don't trust anybody. Anybody that's showing you flashy cars in sunglasses, beware of. He seems to have a following, doesn't he? I got nothing against anybody, really. But yeah, he's clearly making some money. I think he's been trading a while. He's the flashy type, but that's okay. Each to their own. Some people are. He has 2 Lambos and a Porsche. Christ, he is making some money then. Yeah, he's been trading a while, I think, isn't he? A fair few years. He's had his haircut as well. He used to have quite longer hair. And he's had it scalped. Creative made, but in the last month, Christ almighty, so they're obviously paying. He must be on live accounts, mustn't he? He must be on live accounts. I don't know. I don't quite understand how Apex works with after so many payments now. That aren't they supposed to move you to a live account? It took over $600 last year from Apex, and admitted he's going through thousands of evals. Yeah. Suppose you've got to be, haven't you? I mean, if you've got 20 accounts and you're withdrawing every month from 20 accounts, theoretically you shouldn't be paying anything. But the thing is, things have changed with Apex. I mean, seeing who's the other guy, Alpine. Alpine he made a considerable amount of money last year, didn't he? But he was trading without a stop. Now they brought this not with a stop or whatever he's doing. Now they brought these sort of rules in. I'm glad they brought the rules in, because I made about 20-odd thousand last year, which I know is crap compared to those guys. About 22,000 I think I did, which I know it's crap. But I've only been trading sort of this style for 3.5 years, from a complete beginner 4 years. So I look at that as and I think it was 8,000 a year before. So I know I'm a small fish, small fry compared to those guys. But they've been trading longer than me. But it's definitely harder now, and you're kind of forced to trade more sensibly, which it's not a bad thing, I don't think. I would say, well, I can tell you now, every single account that I took $2,000 out of, I blew quickly. So at least now you've got to get with a 50k account with Apex, you got to get you like this high-low. Yeah, I'm staying out of this at the moment because it would mean going along right in the middle of this. And you can bet there's going to be some shorts wanting to protect that area. So I'm just sitting tight here at the moment. I'm not saying it's not going to go higher, but I just don't want to go long gear just yet. So, what was I saying? So, yeah, I like now, with a 50k account, you've got to get to $2,600. You only take $500 out, so it still leaves you $2,100 or $2,000 in the account. Now, that's worth protecting. So, I think it's a good thing that's happened. So, and Apex, we all know, we've all seen these videos. We all know how much Apex is making. Something like 15 million a month. I mean, that's a considerable amount of money for a business per month. That's a huge amount of money. So I don't think there's any fear of them going bankrupt. That's for sure. So that higher low would have made a few points. I'm just a bit unsure what's going on here. So trading there for me when there's not that much See, I go for 3. Wow, look at that. I go for 3 points. So I'd want to be out here, and there ain't much really. I'd have to get up to there. I mean, it clearly worked. But I'm just not sure what's going on here at the moment. So what did you get out of that, Jay? You got 6 ticks. That doesn't make you sick when you get 6 ticks. Mind you, to be fair, getting out around this area I think is a sensible thing. You don't know it's going to do that. What I did say, there's going to be some stops there. Let's have a look. Did anybody take it? No. Okay, someone did. Mr. Flex. Checking my trades to see how many go for 12 ticks. Yeah. Sensible way to do it. Never listen to anybody else, or listen to them, but figure it out yourself. I go for 3 points, so you won't find many trades. But I'll say if you want to go for a little bit more money, you've got to play the numbers. You've got to do the numbers. So channel down, 2 attempts to push over, big bearish bar. This for me now is going to come right below this and clean all this out now. 2 legs up, a lot of selling here. This is coming straight down, in my opinion, below here. But yeah, you got to do the numbers. I didn't just do it willy-nilly. I did the numbers. And it was a no-brainer for me. The trouble is you have to let what you're doing, see, is you're basing your decision on 3 points. And if the numbers work, you have to let every trade go for 3 points. Otherwise, the numbers start to not work. And it's hard sometimes. I got out for, I think, a couple of points the other day. It did go for 3. I should have left it, but it did go a bit sideways. And I was waiting on a payment, so that's kind of why I came out a bit early, because I needed that 5th profitable day, really. Fairly me further range beyond the mid. So if trader ranges, 6 ticks probably going to change my, or even go up to 2 points. It just, build up slowly. But if the numbers don't lie. So what I'd suggest as well is look at Daniel's trades on the chart and look at Marco's on the Facebook group and just work out how those go, and you'll soon start to get a feel for it. But leading up to Christmas, I had 9 winning trades in a row. So effectively, that made me an extra $900 on my trades. Now, you could look at it that gave me 3 losing tokens. So I could afford to lose 3 trades and still be the same financially as if I'd have gone for 2 points and won every single trade. So that's the way I see it. I did, what have I done? 3 trades over the last 8 days, up 900. Yeah, it's a no-brainer for me. It's a no-brainer. So channel down with a bit of an overshoot. 2 attempts to push up, which failed, came down, big push down. Yeah, see, I wouldn't have taken that one. After we bounced multiple times and pushed above this, I wouldn't have taken it personally. But it did work. I'll be looking for something like that here, but the fact that we came round and still pushed up again tells me that maybe this thing is going to go higher. On a signal bar, 2 wins and 1 loss equals absolutely. Absolutely. That's the way I look at it. If I win 3 trades at 3 points, going up from 2 points, I'm up $300. Effectively, I've covered my next loss, if you think about it like that. And as I mentioned, leading up to Christmas, I'd had 9 winning trades in a row. In fact, I had 10, but the 10th one wasn't 3 points. I went for a little bit less. So I was up $900 compared to if I'd have been going for 2 points. So that effectively has bought me a few losses. So, ARJ, someone else has put that there now. Was expecting a new low, but not liking this. Not liking this. I don't know, but it's kind of working, isn't it? In an odd way. But yeah, I mean, I didn't just go straight for 3 points. I went from 1.5 to 2 points, I think. I mean, it's a bigger jump, that is, from 2 to 3. A point to 2. In every trade you win, in 50. Every 2 trades, effectively, it's quite a chunk extra. So a point for me, personally, I wouldn't consider doing it. I know Mac teaches that, but even Mac's come out and said, if you're only trading 1 or 2 contracts, don't trade for a point. The numbers don't work. So we've come very close to this area. Now, it depends what sort of bar you've got there, but you could lift that up a touch. If you've got 2 slightly different bars there, that works out okay. So it's hit this area and pushed up strong. So it's starting to look more and more valid, that, isn't it? Six to 8 ticks a big jump. Yeah, I remember speaking to Daniel about it, about going for more, and he finds it hard enough to sit through 1 point. But he trades 6 ticks now. Daniel does, and Marco does. They both jumped up, and rightly so. If you look back up Mac's earlier videos, 9 times out of 10 you could get into a trade with a tick above and below the signal bar, and 9 times out of 10 you'd be 2 points and below. It just doesn't happen at the moment. I mean, that ATR's 3.5. If you'd have taken that bar there straight away, tick below, tick above, it's 4 points. Easily, you're risking double what Mac used to, and if all the bars are bigger, the profit bar is as well. So you have to go for more, in my opinion. And he's so consistent. Could trade 2 ticks and pretty profitable. Yeah, he does all right. Daniel does, doesn't he? Apparently, he's starting. He's starting a Discord, I've heard. So I don't know when, but yeah, he helped me a lot. He did when I first started. He always answered me any queries. You know what it's like sometimes when you're learning something. I find I can't sleep at night some nights if I got something on my mind and I don't understand something. And he helped me a lot. People like him, people like Marco, Marlon, another trader buddy of mine, Nick as well, Nick Sesto. I've had chats with him on the phone. Another guy as well I don't see much of as well. What's his name? He lives in the Caribbean, I think, somewhere. What's his name? Yeah. Recently his win rate is above 96%. I don't doubt that, mate, at all. Yeah, it'll always help you as well. Hardship. I've heard that name for a while. In fact, when we were talking about that a week or 2 ago. No, who was the guy on Mac's Facebook group that Jope? A guy called Jope. I think he's from the Caribbean area. He helped me a lot as well. Just if you ask for help and people are happy and give you it, I like that. So that's why I said at no point. I know people like Trader Joe. He charges now, and that's down to him and Wilson as well. But they still have their struggles. But I said it's something I would never do, no matter how long I've been doing it, because I had so much help from people, and I wouldn't want to charge people. As far as I'm concerned, people help me. Then when I'm experienced, I help the newer traders, and when the newer traders get where I am, they help them. And it's about passing it down, I think, and helping each other. I'm not a fan of charging. If you're a 20-year seasoned trader, then fair enough. But if you've only been doing it 2, 3, 4, 5 years like us, like a lot of us here, I don't think you should personally, but that's my opinion. I don't begrudge anybody, or I don't think differently of anybody for doing it, but it's something I'd never do. Not just that, you're committed anyway, aren't you? I don't want to be committed. I like to have that bit of freedom. You start charging people, you got to turn up. It's part of the reason why I like trading. You know, you can make your own day up, really, can't you? If you want to finish early, you can finish early. You're charging people, it's not that simple. It's not an easy day to trade today because there's so much chop. And it's very hard to get confident on a direction to trade. It's certainly easier after the fact. I mean, second entry short there, yeah, fair enough. But at the time, in real time, that's how my channel looked. And if we ever get an overshoot, I've been stung so many times on there. But then if it continues down, then you could probably extend it. But so in real time, same again, that one. A leg and a leg, bearish buy. In real time, you can kind of see why that worked. But, you know, when it happens in real time and, you know, we're kind of slowly trending up, you probably would avoid it. So we've come off the bottom, we've pushed up. Last time we've come off the bottom, we had a channel up there, a couple of legs back and higher again. Same here, channel up, couple of legs back, higher again. So one would think this would continue up. So if we can get a second entry around here, and it holds, because we've had a little channel with the break. If it holds above here and gives me something interesting, then I may have a go. So the 10,000 tick chart currently is looking like it's in a trend. Very much so, yeah. 10,000 tick. There's something larger there over a few days, I think, but over 5 days. But at the moment, it's clearly trending up, isn't it? So Marco has been kind enough just to put that on there. This is the daily. So a leg, 2 legs up and a bit. So this is an area that looks like it's likely to bounce. In fact, it may have already done. Yeah, it has. It's touched that line. So this would be interesting to see where this goes. So yeah, I like that. Yeah, he's got it as well. Black Bays, looking at the larger, the bigger picture. So second entry short, interesting. Trouble is, it has bounced a couple of times off that midline. And you have got to be really careful here. This may be a day to just I don't know, maybe sit back and just practice patience or something, because it's not the easiest day to trade today. There's a lot of this chop. Channel break new high. See what happens here. Bitcoin's taking a bit of a backseat, isn't it, at the moment? Down to 92,000. Ethereum's struggling. It's just above 3,000. XRP's had a really good season. Solana's down a little bit, but it's same again. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely a bit trap here. Just looking at this, there is like a hidden second entry long here, but it has just triggered. You got to be careful here. It's hard to know. It's still very sideways. It may work, but when it triggers you for a tick and starts to pull back like that, that doesn't fill me full of confidence. Best move is moves. I've said moves for the open shot. I thought we said best move is. I'm going to think. There we go. Yeah, that looks like it's going to stop that bullish bar out there, doesn't it? It may hold, but channel with a break. It is a push off that AMA, but there we go. See, so it's, you know, you've got to be so careful here. So channel with a break and a new low. Yeah, it's really dodgy. It's hard to read a lot of this. It's even worse now. This is just getting harder and harder. I mean, this may be a day to finish early, actually. Done for the bet. Yeah, you take it easy, Jay. I don't blame you. It's not easy. This is hard to trade. Unfortunately, there's nothing here. It's such a lot of chop. These kind of big, weird, swingy moves with no entries. Nothing really down there. Yeah, you may have took a second entry long there, but it's a bit sideways, and there was a possibility of a channel down there, which I was just paying attention to. It actually fitted, but it was one of those areas I wouldn't have taken a short there, to be fair, because it's sideways anyway. But then it did happen to push up. But you can easily get trapped with days like this. It's very choppy, but it's a good exercise in patience. If you can sit through this, not take a trade, I consider that a result. So channel break, no low. But in a strange way, if you look at the bigger picture, it kind of looks like a bear flag. Are we going to get a leg and then a leg and come down here? That wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, see, looking at this second chart here, we've got a channel down with a few attempts to push higher. We could get another leg. I mean, it's always possible we could get a leg and a leg. A leg and a leg take us down below all this, close to this area where we know there was some strong buying. It's hard to put your finger on exactly what today's doing, apart from a little bit of slightly upwards, but with a lot of chop, which is not making it super clear. Very choppy. So this thing looks like it's going to take a dive. Yeah, It does look like a bear flag. We'll see. Anything could happen. But there's going to be some stops down here. They're there for sure. Channel break. I've seen plenty a day like this. I think it's not worth trading today. I absolutely agree, mate. I need to see it clear up later, offer it more. It often does that, doesn't it? Sometimes when I, because I usually do 3 hours max, I think that's enough, I think, for me personally. And sometimes it's a horrible day and you come back later and we get a beautiful channel up, loads of, 2 or 3 nice entries, but it's the way it is sometimes, isn't it? At some point, I may decide to do a bit longer. I have mine just set to, so I can't trade past 6 o'clock. So 2:36 gives me about 3.5 hours. So I'm going to adjust this to there because this looks like quite a tight channel going down. We've got a measured leg down here from there. I'll be surprised if we get down in one foul swoop. May come and retest the bottom of this or this area or something. Who knows? But you can bet your bottom dollar a couple of legs back. A lot of side was there. That there's going to be some stops below there. Picking a bottom after this big move up. January up or down? Good question. That is a question. So yeah, it's not been trading's not been too bad lately. I don't think after Christmas. In fact, last Christmas, I think it was last Christmas or was the year before. I had a really good run. I did at Christmas, but I found I benefit because I generally over the last few years don't take any time off. Unless I've had a bad week or something. Occasionally I'll grab a few days at the end of the week if I feel like I've had enough, but generally as a rule I haven't taken any what I would consider holiday, a clear week off and gone abroad or something like that, but I'm going to this year. And what I will say is I didn't realise how much I would benefit from a clear break from it, and I had a nice break at Christmas and I came back feeling nice and refreshed. So your head can get tangled up in this business, and it is good to take time off. It's important to do it to refresh them, replenish them brain cells. So this looks like a bear flag to me. So we have pushed down. It's not very steep. It's not very strong, and this for me is destined to fail. I think now. How far it'll come down, I don't know, but we're not far off that measured move now. I had an inkling we were going to do that when that pushed down there. There's going to be liquidity down here. Certainly here, I would have thought after the big channel down, maybe some buying here, stops below here. But I think the majority of the stops from here, if traders are buying this to push up, are probably going to be below there. So who knows? Who knows ultimately? I've kind of learned not to assume anything. I like, I have these feelings just from experience. I've been doing it now for 4 years, and you get an idea of where prices generally go for whatever reason if it's not quite strong and that. So you get a general feel, but I'm not confident enough to trade it short. Sometimes a weak push up like that, sometimes we push down and clear out some of this, and then that may encourage buyers to get back in, or it may decide to take a dump. I think the kind of overall, if I go on to the overall at the moment on the 10,000 tick chart over the last, say, week is generally down. But looking on the daily, it is bouncing at support. So it may not do that forever. So, we've been going up and up and up and up and up, as you'd expect it to long term. But let me just block that out. But yeah, we're bouncing at support here. So it may go down a little bit more, or it may decide to bounce. But it's hard to pay too much attention to this because, even if we think it's going to be a bearish day, a slight pullback in here can be 30, 40 points in at a 2,000 tick chart. So you can't base going for 3 points on anything this is telling you. But it's nice to know where things may decide to turn. I mean, if this goes down below here, that could be 20, 30 points, couldn't it? So, but I'd say we're not far off, a move to the upside here. Clear out some of this. It could go down a bit more. What's that? 770, 780? It's 30, 38 points away. So I don't know. Who knows? Ultimately, you never really know. Planning on going somewhere or just staying at home. The difficult thing is at the moment for us is we got 2 dogs, we got 2 cockapoos, and my mother-in-law would usually have them, but she's getting on a bit now, and her partner hasn't long had a stroke, so she kind of cares for him a little bit. So it's a bit tricky for us to go abroad at the moment. We'd have to put them in kennels, and I'm not a massive fan of putting my dogs in kennels. But if I can find a nice one, I read about this kennel and I had a look on it and just find out the prices, and it says you can pay an extra £1 a day for a heat lamp, and I'm thinking, they don't even get heating. So I don't know, we'll see. I might go around and look a couple of kennels, and if I can get something nice from, because we love our dogs, they're a big part of the family. So. Yeah, I know, yeah. You can pay £1 extra a day for a heat lamp, and it sounds to me like they're going to be stuck in some bloody barn somewhere. I thought they'd be in kind of, maybe a courtyard for them to run around and, like a warm room. You'd think they'd at least have heating. I mean, not so bad in the summer, but I don't want to keep my dogs in a bloody barn. One to stay away from. It's a red signal. So, I don't know. I may go around a few and have a look. I want something that looks kind of homely. I don't want them to feel like they're stuck in a bloody dog shelter or something. For an extra 3 points, we'll feed that 3 pounds. I know, it's crazy. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, usually places like that, you've got to take their own food. Because anybody who's got dogs, sometimes if you change their food, they can get a bit finicky. But we'll go. I mean, I did want to take my daughter. I got a 16-year-old daughter. I did want to take her to Cyprus. I lived there for a couple of years as a kid. So I got a bit of history there. So I want to take her and show where I used to live and where I used to go to school. So I don't know. I want to take her somewhere. We haven't been abroad for about 3... Well, in fact... Last time we went abroad was before lockdown, so we usually go away for a couple of weekends a year, but we've just decided, kind of lockdown. I think before lockdown we had 2 holidays in 1 year, just 2-week holidays, 2 1 weeks. We did went to Rhodes, and then we got a kind of a last minute one to Ibiza. So, channel, small break, new low. See, this looks like a bear flag to me. I can see this testing this line and possibly coming down further. So I'm not in a hurry to take it long here at the moment. But I like Turkey, I do. I went to a Ludinez sort of 10 years ago, something like that. And I love a Ludinez. I do a little bit of scuba diving, not a lot, just a little bit. So I went out to Fethiye for a day and did a couple of dives there. I liked Turkey. I thought it was beautiful. Weather, coast, coastline. Same again, Mallorca. I like 2 hours on a plane from the UK, dead quick. Mallorca's beautiful. Beautiful coastline, and 2 hours. I don't like being stuck on a plane for hours. But 2 hours is lovely. I like that. So I'm not in a hurry to go short here. That to me is just a little bit of a pullback for that move up. So I do want to do a little bit of travelling around Scotland this year if I can. I've never been to Edinburgh. I want a long weekend in Edinburgh. I'm a big, as most of you guys know, I'm a big single malt fan. So I'd like to go up to Edinburgh, spend a few nights in Edinburgh and visit a distillery up there and lock myself in the corner and drink some whiskey. My sister lives down in Winchester, so we usually go there for a long weekend sometime throughout the year. That's nice. Okay, so that bearish bar has triggered. As I say, I'm staying out of this. It may continue down, but I'm just a bit on the fence as to what's going on here. You were born in Dundoon, were you really? I've only ever been to Scotland once, and I literally went up there in a day. I had to go and pick a printer up, a vinyl printer. Might sound a long way for a printer, but it was like a £3,000 printer, something I was into years ago. And I just drove up to, and I met the guy just this, I forget where it was now. I think it was near Edinburgh. So I've only literally been up there in a day, but I have got relatives. I've got a cousin who lives right up north there. But as I say, I do love me single malt, and my wife does as well lately, unfortunately. So, I mean, Scotland, if anybody's seen any of the countryside there, it's stunning. So if you had taken that short there, triggered you, pushed straight up, stopped you out. You can't go short there, to be honest with you, especially after dropping out of this. You never know where it's going to go. So where are you from, Richard, now? Are you in the UK now, are you? As we know, Sam's from Scotland. He's a nice lad, Sam is. So, channel down, small break, new low, leg and a leg up, bearish bar. Is this coming down, possibly? It's very tempting, that. Oh, you're in the USA, I got you. I got you. I'm going to blank that just a minute. So, let me just... Yeah, it's a beautiful part of the world, Scotland is. There's no direction here, really, is there? Ordinarily, channel break, new high, bearish bar like that in a downtrend, I'll be thinking about a lower high. You're from Edinburgh yourself, are you? It is, as I say, I've literally been there and back in a day, but I haven't seen any of the Edinburgh itself, but it does look stunning. And of course they have the Edinburgh tattoo there, don't they? So where are you now, Daryl? Where are you now? Where is this thing going? So is this just a break of the channel and then pushing back in? Could quite likely be. Still getting devastated by those fires, aren't they? Shocking, that is. Fortunately nowadays, what with drones and helicopters and satellites, you can at least, hopefully, get away from it all. since I've been back, so imagine it's not changed. Where are you now, bud? Where are you now? Are you in Argentina? Oh, crikey. My wife while travelling, been in Buenos Aires for almost 5 years. Oh, wow, fantastic. Lovely. It's nice to travel, isn't it? If you can get out and get about a bit. Yeah, I've not done too much myself. I did a little bit around Europe just as a teenager at sort of 21. I went to Austria for a while. Yeah, I went to Austria for a while, and then France. Worked there at a ski resort for a couple of months. So I've done a little bit, but not much. Aren't you, Karina? Are you originally from Argentina, Karina? You're from that area, aren't you? Oh, you're from Spain, aren't you? Where are you? I can't think now. Argentina. See, we know Argentina for corned beef and Maradona. In fact, I was watching a documentary the other day, actually, and who was talking? Who was it that was talking? Oh, what's his name? He was the presenter. Played for England. What's his name? He was talking about Maradona, and he said, "I've just never seen someone who could move a ball around like that." Gary Lineker, yeah. Gary Lineker was talking. He said, I think they were playing for, I think it was a charity game. He said he came out the field and Maradona just booted the ball up in the air, and he took 2 steps, came right back down, he booted it up again. He said they all tried it and couldn't get anywhere near it. Just a guy who can manipulate a ball like that, but he was something else. I remember watching the Hand of God game, and I think it was about 86, wasn't it? I was over in Northern Ireland at the time. His stepdad was in the army. I was about 15, 16. I remember watching the Hand of God. Yeah. Now it's Messi, of course it is, yeah. Lionel Messi. I don't follow football like I used to. I'm more of a cricket man now, I am. Although I haven't watched much cricket lately, but are we in something like this now? Maybe. Yeah, it's Messi now, isn't it? But Maradona was something else when he was such a small guy, wasn't he? But man, that guy could manoeuvre around with a ball. I think he's kind of one of those guys that come along in a lifetime. So hard to trade this. I don't know whether this thing is going to continue up or whether it's going to come down. I just couldn't tell you. It's one of those days. How long have I been trading for? Oh, I'm nearly done, I think. 2 hours and 44. I usually do 3 hours max. I'm surprised I've lasted this long, to be fair. But sometimes it's nice to have a chat, isn't it? But I always like to, regardless of what I do in a day, I always like to try and get in at least 2.5 hours of screen time. You know, every day you sit here, things get slowly clearer, you get more experience. So, yeah. So I'm going to finish in a minute anyway. God, that's so messy. If you put that there, at least it gives you a little bit of clarity. As soon as you take it away, God, Christ almighty, where's it going? No, I'm quite happy not to take a trade today, to be honest with you. It's a good exercise in patience, this. Because, 6, 8, 10 months ago, I couldn't have sat through that and not taken a trade. I'd have been itching to get in. And in all fairness, it's a difficult trading day, this is. There's a lot of this shop where prices, these bars are really tight together in lots of multiple areas. Here, all over the place. And it does make trading that little bit. As soon as it starts to go sideways, it adds that little bit of extra risk to it. So yeah, I haven't not taken a trade for a while, actually. I think close to Christmas, I think I took one trade in a week, I think, a couple of weeks before Christmas, but last week I didn't do so bad. So maybe that is a channel, and maybe we had a break out of it and we push back into it. Stream, you're welcome, mate. Anytime. Yeah, anytime. I'd like to stop by again. Anytime you like, mate. Anytime you like. It's nice to have some company. It is boring by yourself. I mean, trading generally is boring anyway, isn't it? But it is nice to have a bit of company. So, but I don't know. I consider that a result. I didn't take any stupid trades. I don't think that was a terrible trade, the second entry long, but the trouble is, it is whipping up and down, and the trouble is, when it's doing like that, you start to lose a little bit of trust. So it'd be interesting to see. I dare say Mackle Market doesn't, but the trouble is, after the fact, you know, you could probably mark some, couldn't you? Channel break new low. You may, what would you call that, a failure? Maybe a higher low. You could mark that, because we know it worked. A little bit of sideways fell breakout, maybe fell breakout. That one, it worked. We know it worked at the time, but you don't know where it's going. So I'm happy with my progress. It's taken time, but any business where you can make significant amounts of money is never going to be easy. Otherwise, everyone will be doing it. And we know we're in a very small minority because not many people can put up with this. But I'm in the best place I've been in before. I've had times where I felt absolutely downright miserable, and it's affected my mood. It's affected who I am to a degree. I know my wife said, "Oh, we used to dread you coming down from trading." Not that I'm ever nasty or violent or anything like that. Never in the slightest. I'm about as placid as they come, but just miserable. You know, not in the mood to talk. And trading can do that to you. But you know, I figure I've come out the end and I'm now slowly moving up. So I've, you know, I enjoy my trading now more than I've ever done. But you know, I used to get frustrated with days like this and impatient, and it's days like this where if your patience goes, you're in deep trouble. But there you go. So I've bored you long enough. I'm going to leave you to it. If you're carrying on trading, best of luck. Tuesday tomorrow, we've got a full week this week. I think we have got, and we got President's Day coming up at some time. Okay. So I'm going to share this with you guys. This is good news for me. I've just had my approvals for Apex, so I'm very pleased. So I'm going to bring in my emails. I don't think it really matters. Approval. Let's just have a look. $2,000, $2,000, and $2,000. Fantastic. Now, I'm really pleased about that. Trouble is, you hear stories and you hear people say 12, 80, 90% off Apex 12 hours. Thanks, Daryl. You too, buddy. 12 hours. Are you making that, or do you know something we don't, Karina? So I'm pleased about that. I feel good. I've followed the rules and my accounts have been approved, so I'm pleased. So nice $6,000 to start the month. So I'm really pleased with that. So thank you, Daryl. I appreciate that, mate. So I've got 2 bottles of scotch downstairs. I've got a Lafroig Select, and I've got a Welsh whiskey, another Welsh whiskey, Aberfoyle. So I'll be having a couple of those tonight. So I'm pleased about that. So nice $6,000 to start the year. So I will love you and leave you. So if you are carrying on trading, best of luck. I hope you get a nice setup. If you've traded today, I don't see 90%. No, I'm not sure at the moment. I think Karina's just winding us up. Or she's hoping, like all of us. So if we do get the next, you know, with the next offer, I'm going to add a couple more. I think 2 or 3 more. I think. So there you go, folks. Okay. Yes, they've come out of my balance. They've come off my balance. I've just noticed. So happy days. So best of luck to you all. Have a great evening. Stay safe, and we will catch up tomorrow. If I do, I'll sign up. I appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much. So have a great day. Have a great evening. Stay safe. We'll catch up tomorrow. Bye for now.